Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Origin podcast. This is our debut recording. Doesn't mean it's going to be our debut episode, but the odds are if you found this episode, you went into the Wayback Machine and you're listening to a past episode, which I really, really appreciate. It means you're probably one of our loyal listeners. So thank you so much for doing that. Today's guest, I'm really, really grateful to have him on the air because besides being just a businessman, besides being just a podcaster, he's kind of responsible for bringing in a tremendous quantity of incredible guests into this studio, and recently just won Podcaster of the Year. So please welcome Sean Kelly.
Here we are.
Thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely, Tyus. Let's do this.
So you did the podcasting thing twice.
Yeah.
So tell me how the first one went, what you learned, and what changed the second time around.
First one went really bad. Started about 5 years ago. The name of the show was Business All Stars. Just a basic name, and I used some random logo creator. It was super like bootstrapped. But I think the main reason it failed was two reasons. The first reason was it was a virtual show, and I feel like that doesn't work as effectively as in-person stuff like this show.
So you're doing like over Zoom or something?
Yeah. So the quality was so bad. It was terrible. And this was before short form really took off. I don't even think short form existed 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, it did in a couple little pieces of media, but not much.
Yeah, I don't even know if TikTok was out. YouTube Shorts definitely wasn't. Instagram Reels wasn't even out. So I think timing was another reason it failed. And then also my network wasn't as big as it was now.
So what changed on the network stuff?
Started going to more events, conferences, paying for the best tickets, getting good access to people. Started studying the top shows and reaching out to those guests and providing value to them. And I think just time and getting more knowledge in me helped.
Now, you've kind of defined yourself as like a little bit of an introvert.
Yeah.
How do you go out there and break those chains? Like if you had three pieces of advice to give to an introvert to grow a massive network, what would they be?
I was not only an introvert, I couldn't even talk to people. It was like a whole nother level. And I'm still an introvert now, but I was talking on the way here with my girl. I couldn't even talk. Like I would give one-word answers.
So how do you change that? Because like you're literally in the business now of having conversations.
Yeah. So we were talking about this. Podcasting actually helped, ironically, get me more comfortable with conversing with people. Because people would text me a paragraph, 2 paragraphs. I would respond with 1 to 3 words. And people said I did that in person too. So I don't know. It could have been a disconnect. Could have been autism. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Could have been childhood trauma. My father used to yell at me if I said the wrong thing. So that kind of shut me up. So I was pretty mute as a child. Because he was bipolar. And yeah, I think just repetitions, watching shows.
There wasn't an unlock. There wasn't
like a therapy session that like unlocked it.
It wasn't a skill set. It was a matter of repetition and figuring it out.
It wasn't like a defining moment. Everyone wants like a pill they could just take to solve the problems, but I think it's just repetitions over time.
So when you launched the new podcast, one thing I wanted to ask you about this that I've never asked you in person, is your podcast doesn't have it's not the Sean Kelly Show. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like both of them didn't have that as the branding. Is there a reason why you didn't go with your name as the branding?
Yeah, I didn't want to tie my personal brand entirely because one reason is I want to sell this thing one day. So there's been 6 9-figure exits in the podcast space this year.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 of them this week. Call Her Daddy got acquired for $125 million this week, and Travis Kelce just sold his for $100 million 2 days ago.
Now, what does that look like when they sell a podcast? The host is still going with the podcast, right?
Right. So the way they make their money back is through the ads and the sponsors. So when you sell the podcast for $100 million, now all the sponsor money goes towards whoever bought it. So they hope in X amount of years they'll make that back and more.
And that is your long-term goal, long-term strategy?
I would say so. Yeah, 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Some people wouldn't consider that long, but for me, that's pretty long for business.
Well, at your pace, that's like 1 billion episodes. You're shooting how many per week?
We just did the math. We're at 900 in a year and a half.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna hit 1,000 in probably 2-3 months.
Okay, so how is that feasibly possible? Because some of the best in the world are doing 3 a week.
Yeah.
So how are you possibly doing that?
I knew if I wanted to stand out, I had to do something different. And one of the ways to do that is repetitions and volume. Because barely anyone's dropping 1 a day. No one's dropping 2 a day. I'm dropping 3 a day. I don't know anyone doing that. Do you?
No.
So that's one way to separate. So I have
maybe gamers that are hosting their own like Twitch stream.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not exactly a podcast.
That's different. Yeah. That's like overstream. But yeah, in person, I don't think anyone's doing that.
No, I don't think so either.
So that's one way I separated myself. The other way is the clips. I went all in on the short form because people's attention spans are dropping every single year, and I know that. So I wanted to dominate that market. And I'd say on Instagram, we have to be at least top 10 in the world in terms of clips.
Now, we're gonna get into editing and all of that in a second here. But before we do, I'm curious about the logistics of getting when you do it. I mean, I'm here when you're doing it, and you're lining up upwards of 9 guests a day.
Yeah.
How can you logistically pull that off?
Yeah, it's crazy too because we're booked like 3 months out. So it's about 10 to 15 guests a week for 3 months, and it's been that way since the start. So I have a talent booker that books the guests, like an assistant. So if I find someone interesting, I'll send it to them. They'll email them, DM them, book the show. My main focus is just prep on the guest. So that takes about 30 minutes to an hour each guest because I use AI. And that's my main focus. And then focusing on the interview. All the editing stuff is outsourced.
Okay. So your booker says, hey, we're going to bring them in. You've got set days, and then they just start filling in the time slots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weekdays only. I'm pretty strict on that. The only time I filmed on a weekend was here with Grant Cardone, and that was like my one exception.
Well, that's a good reason to have that exception.
And that episode did well. So.
Yeah. Tell me about, you said you use AI for researching the guests. How does that work?
There's a lot of different AIs. ChatGPT, if I'm looking to summarize their book, maybe, because I won't have time. A lot of these guests are booked like pretty quick, so I won't have time to read their books. Like some of them have like 5-10 books, so I'll use AI to summarize their books. I'll use AI to summarize their podcasts. I'll go through their social media manually and pull some stuff there, but AI definitely helps.
Okay, so it's not like you have a set prompt or anything like that.
My prompt is, imagine you're Joe Rogan interviewing this person. What are 20 interesting questions you could ask him?
Okay, cool. That's practical. Yeah, that's really practical. So you said you outsource all your editing.
Pretty much.
How do you find your editors?
How did I find them? I found them through word of mouth. Someone I knew was using them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like I posted it.
Picked them up and dealt with it.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a lot more staff than a lot of podcasts have. Most podcasts are ran by the host.
Yeah.
Right? But you've actually, I mean, you generally have an assistant here every single time you're shooting just to deal with the fact that guests are walking in while you're recording.
Right.
Was that a strategic move at the beginning, or were you trying to do everything at the beginning by yourself and then realized you needed to add on?
Yeah, I did it by myself for as long as I could, but then it felt too stressful. The assistant thing helped a lot because I found myself mid-episode worrying about, is the next guest waiting? Like, do I have to go get them while I was filming? So that just helps everything flow better. Plus, they make the guests more comfortable because some of them are nervous to come on. So the assistant kind of talks to them in the green room, makes them comfortable. The editors, there's a lot of those. That's probably majority of the hires because the long form we're dropping 3 a day, so that's a lot of editing, and we're dropping 4 to 6 clips a day. Wow. So that's like half the team right there.
How much do you invest per video?
About 300.
Okay. Wow.
If you include the clips.
And if you think about how many videos you're doing at any given time, that's a lot. That's a lot of output.
About 1,000 a day, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, podcasts aren't cheap if you want to scale quick.
Yeah. So, what are the sources of revenue for your podcast? Because you have a multifaceted strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, my strategy, I've never seen another show do this. This is also what makes us unique. I have in-person events, so those will make maybe $10,000 to $15,000 an event, and I'll do that every month or two, which is just a networking event. I'll bring all the guests from the show. I'll bring people that want to pay to come and bring them together.
Is it a sales event? Are you selling stuff
We don't
there?
pitch anything.
Don't pitch anything.
Yeah, I'm
so
really
it's really
strict.
quite literally networking.
A mastermind, yeah. I'm really strict on that. My opinion might change on that because people are in my ear telling me to start selling, but it has to be something I align with.
Sure.
The views from Spotify and YouTube are getting pretty decent, so the money there is it's growing every month.
Yeah, yeah.
And then some people pay to come on. Mm-hmm. People know about that. That's our biggest stream. And then sponsors are getting pretty lucrative lately too.
Yeah, you certainly keep this place stocked with beverages.
Yeah.
How do you find your sponsors?
It's so easy. I don't know why people don't do this. Go on all the top shows. Go on their YouTube. They link all their sponsors in the description. Then you go on Apollo or Zoom in for whatever email database you need to, which are super cheap, by the way, like $20 a month. Email those brands, whoever's in charge of their sponsorships, and send them your media kit.
Now, you said you're doing this in a different way than other podcasters are doing it as far as generating revenue. I think very few of them are doing so many avenues.
Yeah.
What is the differentiator, and how are you doing it differently?
I think the paid guest route, because before shows will only have you on if you have insane viewership or like a crazy story or something unique. But there's a lot of people that have up and coming businesses that have some good knowledge to share. So that's kind of where I'll charge them.
I mean, that isn't uncommon for the very high end podcasts, right? Like there are
Yeah,
other,
the top shows. I don't know if Rogan does.
I don't think he does.
I don't think the top shows do it because they have such integrity and yeah, just a huge audience.
Well, I'm not sure if it's I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I like the term like that it lacks integrity because I don't think it does. Like you're very
Yeah.
transparent.
I am, yeah, but some people see it as like a pay to play type thing, so they look down on it negatively.
I think maybe because they don't realize that that's how the whole world works. Like if you want an article in a magazine, like
Yeah.
the vast majority of those are pay to play.
Yeah,
like,
PR agency.
like that's just how that stuff works. If you're curious how like people get Wikipedia pages, it's because like they paid for them.
I've been offered that, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, like it's purchased.
Oh, you could buy those?
Yeah, those are for sale.
Wow.
That's
How
the
much?
only way to get them. I don't know.
I wonder-
You can look them up.
I feel like that's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But a friend of mine just got a star out here. They're now doing stars on the Vegas Strip.
Really?
Yeah, and
At the old strip or?
No, his was right in front of the Paris.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I don't know how much that costs, but I mean, I'm sure they're using the exact same model from LA.
Interesting.
Yeah, I come from a magic background, and one of the things that is difficult about magic is you see people pull away the curtain, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't know that's how this worked," and you kind of get disappointed because you think authentically everything just like, "Oh, they got honored by a star or whatever," and then you start realizing, "Oh, wait, the Oscars are purchased,
Yeah.
like the elections are rigged." Like, it's like, "Oh, this is a bummer."
The star thing has changed my opinion on
Oh yeah,
the Walk of Fame or whatever it's called.
fair enough.
Yeah.
So what could you give me like 3 to 5 things that you've learned over doing 800, 900?
Approaching 900, yeah.
Jeez, podcasts.
Ooh.
What are the big changes that have from when you
Yeah.
started to now?
The food ones are always interesting because there's so many opinions. Like I'll have on vegetarians, I'll have on carnivores, but overall, just changing my diet up, massive impact on my health. Just going natural as possible.
You bring in a lot of people that have differing views,
Yeah.
and you're pretty open and accepting of all kinds of different views. Have any of those people really changed your mind on anything?
Gary Brecka for sure, because I was very scared of blood tests.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of needles, but I realized I needed to get over that fear because the data was so valuable. And I found out my testosterone was low. My vitamin D was in the single digits, which is crazy low. And I used to get sick every month. Ever since that test, I've been sick maybe once in the past year and a half.
Do you supplement vitamin D? Do you supplement testosterone?
Yeah, not fake testosterone, but yeah, natural stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was a big one. The spirituality side of things changed me too, because I was atheist going into the podcast.
How did that change? Like, how do you, that's a big worldview.
Yeah, big. But I do believe in a spiritual world, which you and I differ on this take for sure. But I don't think it's just physical, basically.
So go on.
I don't know where I stand on like God and everything, but like creator of some sort and purpose driven life, I just feel a lot better with that mindset.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's benefit in just in believing that, and so why not believe it if there's benefit in having the belief?
Yeah, I think just trying to figure out your purpose is the main thing.
Sure.
Because when I was atheist, it was like, whatever.
Have you figured out your purpose?
Yeah, inspire and educate the upcoming generation.
When did you get that locked in?
Through the podcast of realizing like I would think about, okay, when did I feel passionate about an episode? And I would tie it to a guest, and I just realized it was about important messages getting across.
I mean, that's a big unlock. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people go through life without purpose.
I did for a while, and I saw people do that too, yeah.
Yeah. It seems like the more things are easily acquired, like for example, if you have children and you're struggling to make sure they're fed, your purpose is handed to you.
Right.
Right. But as life becomes easier and easier, things become automated, prices drop due to automation. A lot of the I must do this becomes optional. And
Yeah.
then it's like, well, where do I fill in the purpose? So it's pretty cool that you found purpose through the podcast.
And that's what happened to me, because imagine this, right? $10 million at 25 years old, liquid.
Wait, okay, can't do that and not explain how that. What happens there?
Did well with crypto.
Okay.
So did well with crypto. So I'd wake up every morning like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do today, basically? Because I would wake up, make $100,000. And it sounds amazing, but then when you're making money that easily, it's like shit doesn't feel real. It's like, what's my role here? Like, I just have all this money and I don't know what to buy. I'm not materialistic at all. So it's just a weird dilemma. And you hear this with founders that sell their company for stupid amounts of money. They go through this period where they're like questioning stuff. They take ayahuasca journeys. They're like, what do I do with all this wealth?
So what happens if you get that 100? somebody comes to you, they go, I'm Spotify, here's $100 million. I want to buy the podcast.
Yeah.
You get it. What's next?
That's a good question. Really good question.
Okay, so you've got a finish line. You just don't know what happens
Yeah,
after
I don't
the
have a
race.
plan for that.
Okay.
I do like money still, and I do like still like making it and everything, but it's not the main thing anymore. You know, it used to be the main thing for a while.
Do you consider yourself a businessman or an artist?
Right now, businessman still.
Okay.
I think I need to make more before I can switch to artist.
I've heard a quote that a businessman is his best when he feels like an artist, and an artist is his best when he feels like a businessman. But there's like some level of overlap between those two characteristics, and like maybe when you're right in between, like right now you're a content creator. Like
Yeah.
there is an art to that, and you're also like, strangely enough, a professional conversationalist.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Super weird.
One of the things I've noticed with your conversations is you definitely highlight the guest. And I think you do that a lot more than most people do, short of some of the top podcasts. How did you learn to just kind of like give them the stage?
It was tough because as humans, you naturally want to butt in on conversations that you find interesting. So I had to physically train myself to not butt in every 2 seconds like a lot of hosts do. But I realized like if I just say the same thing over and over again, there's no value there. People already heard it a few times. So I just want the guest to be 80% of the show. 80-20 rule is something I live by.
Okay. Now you also don't like this is our studio, right? You've utilized a lot of studios throughout Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Why didn't you create your own?
I could have. Just logistically, I didn't know how to find someone like you, to be honest.
Okay.
But this was perfect, so it worked out.
Okay. Yeah. And we're glad to have
Yeah.
you.
Shout out to Origin Studios.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
you've had some great people film here.
Yeah, but a lot of those people were brought in by you.
Directly or indirectly, yeah.
How do you get those great guests?
So the ones I brought, Grant Cardone cold emailed. Same strategy I told you about earlier. Just found his email on Apollo.
Really?
Yeah, emailed him.
So you'd think that somebody like that's not going to respond.
Once you have the views, it's easy.
How do you get the views?
Controversial. So this is where it gets tricky because I don't want to promote having controversial guests on, but you got to have on different, unique takes because you're not going to go viral with just basic, regular entrepreneurs, unfortunately.
Yeah, if everybody's down the center aisle, then there's no diversity, and
Yeah.
you're not creating.
You got to figure out how to stand out. It's not like a set formula. I can't just tell you to have this person on and go viral. That's not the case.
Okay. So, but literally, it was just get enough views to justify somebody wanting to be on the show.
Yeah, and then once you get that first big one, that's the hardest one. I'm trying to remember. It might have been Danica Patrick for me or someone early on that was big that came on because then you could leverage their appearance, get future guests. And then when you have some big guests scheduled to come on, you can also leverage those names to get names.
So you're using kind of like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's easy.
So the first one's the hard one.
Yeah. So, for example, we had Tulsi Gabbard here last week.
Amazing.
That was my entrance into the political space. Now I can pretty much get anyone in that space. For me, it was hard to penetrate that space without a big name coming on. But since that episode, I messaged Charlie Kirk. I messaged Steven Crowder. They're both down to come on. So now I'm within reach from guys like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens.
Do you ever feel that your guests are concerned about like gotcha journalism or anything like that? Especially maybe in the political space.
Yeah, they're concerned, but I think since I've been pretty authentic with my show and I've never done that to a guest, like I think they're pretty okay with me. I don't know. But some guests definitely are concerned with it, especially the celebrities.
Have you ever had a guest that was concerned that you've promoted other things that they don't align with
Yeah, I've had people not come on.
because of that?
I think so, yeah. They won't say that, but kind of makes sense because I've offered people on the left to come on and no one says yes.
On the left?
Yeah,
Specifically the left?
Democrats, yeah, because I have on a lot of Republicans.
Huh. Looking back, would you have kind of invited them on in equal ratios to prevent that from happening in the past?
I mean, I did at first. I've had on 2 or 3 people on the left and 2 or 3 on the right at the time, but then just got so out of proportion.
Are you apolitical?
I don't label myself, yeah. I've never voted.
Okay.
Have you?
I have voted,
Okay.
but
Nevada's a swing state, actually, so
yeah. I don't know.
it actually matters here.
I don't know if it does anywhere.
Yeah,
Like, I'm so not convinced. Like, it seems like the higher the density of the population, the less your vote matters. So, like, if I lived in LA, it's like we know where this is going.
Yeah, it's irrelevant in
Doesn't
LA.
matter. And since we live in Las Vegas is this big city, so
Yeah.
it still has a similar effect. But I don't want to jump. I don't want to go too far into politics. So, what are your regrets from podcasting? We could frame that as what are your big learns?
Yeah.
But I'd much more be interested in hearing the mistakes that you've made along the way that you've corrected, that other people might be able to avoid those chasms.
Trying to cheap out on editing was a mistake because as a businessman entrepreneur, you're trying to cut costs, but at a certain point, the quality is so much worse if you're paying less. So that to me was a big lesson because I wasn't getting views the first probably 6 months.
Who's the arbiter of what is good and bad, or good
The
enough?
audience, the views will talk. Social media, the numbers won't lie to you. That's the good thing about social media. It's instant feedback loop. So you post 10 clips a week. If none of them are getting over X amount of views, then you know it's not working.
Speaking of the feedback loop, how close are you monitoring your numbers, and how do you avoid falling into either depression or having the audience control what you end up putting on your show?
Yeah. I try not to get carried away, but it's almost impossible because as soon as you log into Instagram, it tells you how many people reposted you, how many likes you get and stuff. So it's in the back of my head. I try not to focus on it too much. Like our views are down a lot since I've had on Sneeko because I'm shadow banned still. But hopefully that goes away and we'll be back to, we were getting 40 million views a month on Instagram before that Sneeko episode. Our views went down 80%.
How big does it matter? Like, are you posting a lot on Instagram? Are you posting your shorts on Instagram? Is that
4 to 6 a day.
okay? A lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going crazy. Who manages all the socials?
My editors post. I only post on Instagram just because I have a lot of followers there. I don't want to give that login away. But everywhere else, you can just add them as a editor, and they could post for you.
And do you guys use any specific software for managing all the posts or anything?
I was told not to because it affects the views. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Oh, interesting.
But they all post natively on the platform.
That's really interesting. Okay. Do you have any other regrets or any other big learns outside of the editing?
Honestly, no. Podcasting's been so great to me. Like even though there's been episodes I thought that would be good and they didn't take off, it's still a learning lesson.
Who was your biggest guest as far as views are concerned?
Mickey Mace got 1.5 on YouTube.
Was that due to the audience that the guest had that brought over?
Yeah,
or?
he's viral. Yeah,
Okay.
That wasn't me.
And then after that episode hits and it blows up, do you feel compelled, I need more people that are just like that? Or do you try and grab a more diverse audience?
No, that's
So
important.
that you don't get pigeonholed.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. If you see one of your guests take off, look at what industry they're in, see if there's other people around his level and reach out to them. That's worked well for me.
All right. Any other pieces of advice or anything podcast related that you want to share with the audience before we wrap up?
No, just have fun with it, man. Don't stress out. I know a lot of podcasters that are really stressed, dude. It's weird.
Well, I think there's pressure of being on a camera.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that.
Why not?
I think it should just be natural conversation. Like, it shouldn't be like you freaking out over the guest or something, you know?
I mean, I feel pressure just doing the, I just looked over at the clock and I'm like, 23 minutes. This is awfully short.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like, well, maybe I need to push this and go longer. You've actually done really tight episodes for a very long period of time, but I've noticed recently that you've been expanding the length on the episodes. Is there a reason?
Guest quality has gone up, in my opinion. There's bigger and bigger names coming on. So my thought process is if I can extend it maybe 15, 30 minutes, I could get more clips out of the guests. So I'm playing around with it. But preliminary data is looking good on it. It's
Great.
My revenue's up on the views and the clips are getting more views. So I might switch to 45 minutes now from 30.
Well, if you weren't paying attention to this episode, there was a masterclass just dropped on you as far as everything within the industry. And I really appreciate the fact that you've been so vulnerable and transparent with everything. I remember from the magic side where I come from, I remember this pickpocket. His name was Apollo Robbins. And he sat down with me and just told me everything about his act, how to do everything. And magic's very secretive, that people don't tell their secrets. And I was like, why is this guy giving everything away? And it dawned on me that he had zero concern that I was going to be able to take his job. He was just like, I'm at a different level. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
And so whenever there's people that are like, here's how it's made. Here's the ingredients. Here's everything out there. I always respect those people because I'm always like, they're next level. You know, they're in a different league. So thank you so much for that transparency.
No, I love that. I actually love competition. I have an interesting take on it.
What's your take?
Dude, I love when other podcasters are killing it.
So is that because they provide a learning curve for you, or?
Yeah, I can learn from it. I can study them, see what guests they're having on, and see the when shows sell for 100 million. I'm like, that's exciting. Like that could happen to me. That could happen to my peers one day.
When you started out, shows weren't selling for that.
Only Rogan did it, but now it's like networks are buying these shows. They're seeing them as really valuable assets.
So you didn't start out with an exit strategy though.
Not like a set in stone one.
Why did you start it at all when you were doing successful with
I
everything else?
So I was in that weird phase we were talking about with no purpose, all that money, but didn't know what to do in life. And I just sold my company and was waking up every day for a month. Like I would probably sleep like 12 to 14 hours a day. Wake up.
Depression?
I don't know if that's depression, but it could have been. But it was just a weird month or two of transitioning, and then started the podcast, and it just felt cool.
But you'd already started one before.
Yeah, I started one before, and it flopped.
So why would you be like, you know what I want? I want more punishment.
I felt like it could be different this time. My network was a lot bigger, like we said, and the way you grow is to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So I wanted to do that to myself. My next fear I want to really master is public speaking.
Okay.
Which I'm getting better at.
I mean, you're holding these events.
Yeah.
How did those events start?
Started after I went to a mastermind. I was like, this is awesome, but there's no networking events in New Jersey where I was living at the time. And I did that first event, and it had like 20, 30 people. But it's grown into like what it is now. 500 people come now.
Really?
Yeah.
And you hold them all across the country? Or?
New city every time.
Okay. Cool. If I were to open up your phone right now and launch your podcasting app of choice, which, by the way, I'm curious what your podcasting app of choice is, what would be the 5 most listened to podcasts you have on there?
Okay, so the platform of choice depends on where I am.
Okay.
If I'm at home on my computer, YouTube, because I like to see it. But if I'm driving, Spotify.
Okay.
And then the 5 most listened shows for me right now: Lex Friedman, Joe Rogan. I'm on a Kill Tony phase right now. I'm studying comedian podcasts because those are blowing up right now. Chris Williamson and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tucker came left field from the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And are there any primary learnings you've had from these guys?
They're all so unique. I try to study the top shows in every category, so I think you can learn something from each one. But no, they're just really great listeners, like especially Tucker and Rogan. Like I never see them interrupting their guests. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a hard skill. I'll work on that.
You did well.
Episode 2, I'll work on that. Well, thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Digital Social Hour, and then Sean Mike Kelly on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you.
Boom.